1 year ago, I started a project the objective of which was to have the lines shifted regarding the service rules issue in table tennis. Even though Monqui Pong is a quite unknown content creator in a worldwide scale, I intended to play my part as a micro-influencer and at least try to do something. After releasing dozens of videos in which I tried to demonstrate how numerous, unadapted, unevenly enforced and in the end improvable the rules are. After creating a few memes about that. After launching a global survey showing that more than 8 table tennis players out of 10 would like things to change regarding the current service rules. After analyzing a few suggestions to make things more simple for the umpires. And after even releasing a musical video with some other table tennis content creators, emphasizing the possibilities offered by new technologies. The time has come for me to reach the final stage of my plan before skipping to something else. Today I'll write an open letter to the ITTF President Petra Sörling in which I'll summarize my approach and conclusions about this ongoing issue, and what could be done about it in 2025. Dear Petra, I am writing to you on behalf of the vast majority of table tennis players around the world, in the hope that you will hear the voice of the people, and drive as soon as possible an active process of modernization to resolve what has become a major concern for both amateur and professional practices, the service rules issue. This letter is the latest stage in a modest but passionate awareness campaign that I started a year ago, with the support of a few fellow content creators, to point out the fact that the fault serves problem is not really about cheating or bad umpiring, as you can read in the comments of thousands of posts on social networks whenever this flaw in our sport appears, which is very often. Of course there are players who deliberately break the rules in order to gain a sporting advantage, and of course there are umpires who misapply the rules. It does happen, and it would be wrong to deny it, but these are very marginal cases. The root of the problem lies in the way the rules themselves are written. They are numerous, 14 control points is a lot, not to mention additional nuances between national, international and WTT handbooks. They are a bit imprecise, several elements are left to the umpire's discretion without a common framework clearly setting acceptable limits being determined, and they are no longer really adapted to the game as it has evolved in recent years. On top of this, umpires are asked to enforce those rules without being able to see everything precisely, because of their position on the side of the table and because they do not have technological assistance yet. As a result, they are now mostly able to control and call fault minor violations of the rules that do not give the server any advantage, such as palm opening or supposed spin impartition when tossing the ball issues for example, but not the key point which is the ball visibility at ball-to-racket contact point. It's been years now that everyone, players, umpires, but also spectators, knows and sees that some rules are being unevenly controlled and flouted. With the expansion of table tennis media coverage, the bad example set by the professional circuit for amateur practices in general and for the youth in particular, is spreading insidiously and dangerously throughout the world. Nowadays for instance, many young players reproduce the hook serve with the ball hit behind the head, because that's what the champions they admire do on television without getting warned. Combined with an even more unmastered and uneven enforcement of the rules at lower levels, this phenomenon has electrified and tensed the mood in competitions from top to bottom levels. Still, table tennis is by essence a game, and it shouldn't happen that way. This is also indirectly a question of education, which is no small matter. It has therefore become essential and urgent to simplify the service rules and to introduce a video control tool at professional level, at least for major competitions, in order to restore our sport as a clean and fair game in the eyes of all the table tennis enthusiasts around the world. About technological assistance, I noticed that in the 2024 version of the WTT handbook, there is a section that introduces the table tennis review system on selected events and tables, which is something that was successfully tried out a few years ago. It's a step in the right direction and it's a shame that we never saw it implemented this year. But, if I may, TTR will not be able to solve the major problem of hidden serves as long as only faulted players are allowed to call it and as long as both umpires remain seated on the side of the table. Until a system that can automatically detect non-visible ball-to-racket contact comes, it would be appropriate that the receivers also have at least one call per match to justify any complaint they may have about the legality of their opponent's serve. As for amateur level, until an affordable technological tool based on artificial intelligence is implemented, it would also be appropriate that the rules be simplified so that they can be enforced more easily and more evenly. At a time when we're seeking to recruit volunteers, umpires in particular, at all levels, I think it's vital that we do a much better job of rewarding and equipping these people, without whom the game wouldn't be possible, in order to create vocations. For now, clubs are somehow compelled to fill umpire training sessions, and trainees are then thrown into the lion's den. I'm not sure that this is the best way of retaining them in the long run. I am well aware that you're not the one who decides everything, as you explained in an interview with Table Tennis Daily a few weeks ago, in which you said you were in favor of both changing the rules and using technology to solve the problem of hidden services. Through you, I am in fact appealing to the decision-makers on the ad hoc committee to take action as quickly as possible so that we no longer see on the professional circuit, neither obvious violations of the service rules as if it were something normal, nor uneven or inconsistent enforcement of these rules, which has an incredibly negative impact on our sport, that goes far beyond questions of fair play and sporting equity. Of course, I assume you and your colleagues have many other important subjects to deal with, but the importance of this one seems to me underestimated in view of the numerous and insidious consequences it engenders. Please ITTF, do something as soon as possible about that. Thank you.